Hey guys, Liz Stapleton from elizabethstapleton.com here. And in this video, I'm going to break down sort of the differences between Squarespace and WordPress and sort of in what situations which one would be better to use. As always, if you like this video or if you find it useful, please like and subscribe. It helps me growing this channel. Okay, so WordPress has sort of been the bread and butter of websites and blogging sites for a very long time, but it can have a steep learning curve. And there's lots of resources out there to help you learn it, but it's not intuitive, which is where, there's been a market for providers and platforms like Squarespace, which is sort of an all-in-one platform that is drag and drop and much more intuitive to use for most people. So there's some ways that WordPress stands out from Squarespace. And the first is infinite possibilities. Because it is just sort of a blank canvas on WordPress, because you can use any sort of integration, you can create whatever you want. You're not really limited in your abilities because you can do anything. And it doesn't mean you need to be a coder or anything like that. You don't need to code necessarily to have a great WordPress site, because there are tons of plugins and tools out there, and WordPress works with pretty much all of them. So you can use plugins for collecting emails and doing find and replace throughout your site, and managing, tracking pixels and making links pretty and just, making your site faster, whatever. So there is pretty much a plugin for whatever you want to do. You don't have to be able to code to create a great WordPress site. I'm not a coder. I think my sites are pretty decent looking. But yeah, so WordPress just allows you to kind of do whatever you want. And because it is so widely used and has been around so long, there is an expansive knowledge base. So that if you are having issues, chances are there's an answer out there for you somewhere. And like I said, it does integrate with pretty much anything. Everything pretty much integrates with WordPress, email marketing services, display ads, all sorts, pretty much whatever you want on your website, chances are the tool is going to integrate with WordPress. Whereas Squarespace, it's limited. But there are ways in which Squarespace stands out from WordPress. First of all, it gives you beautifully designed templates. So in WordPress, you're having to either use a free template or purchase a template in addition to your hosting if you're using a paid WordPress site, which most people would do if they're looking to kind of monetize or have some sort of professional site. Squarespace includes it in sort of the all-in-one. They give you, I think it's 24 templates, and they're all really pretty, and they're, easy to just kind of customize to what you want. Whereas a theme in WordPress can take a lot more work to customize to get it looking nice. So it just kind of depends. But Squarespace just has them included. They're easy to work with. And it is an all-in-one platform, like I said. So with WordPress, you're pulling together different tools to build the site you want. But with Squarespace, it's all there. You can set up email forms. You've got the beautifully designed templates. You can put up a calendar or events. It's just sort of all-in-one. And it's drag and drop website builder. So while you can use drag and drop tools on WordPress, Squarespace is and has been a drag and drop. So what you see on the back end is what you'll see on the front end. So you don't have to go preview it. And it can be easier to learn. Like I said, a lot of people find Squarespace more intuitive. I didn't, but that's just because I'd been on WordPress and I'd done that steep learning curve. And so when I tried to use Squarespace, I was like, this is frustrating, but it's just because I was used to WordPress. But yeah, so let's go ahead and sort of talk about how they're different in terms of getting started. So getting started on WordPress, like I said, you can do a free WordPress site, but if you're planning to monetize, you'll want to do a paid one. And what that means is that you're going to be self-hosting your site. And I've got a whole blog post on what it means to self-host your website. And I'll include that link in the description below. But a paid WordPress or a self-hosted WordPress, basically what you have to do is you go to the hosting company. So that could be Big Scoots, that could be SiteGround. A lot of people recommend Bluehost, mostly because they have a great affiliate program. But whichever hosting company you use, I use Big Scoots. But SiteGround's great. There's a lot of great ones out there. Go in, click Get Started Now, choose whatever hosting plan. If you're just starting out, chances are you're going to choose a shared hosting plan. That's going to be the least expensive. And you probably won't need more than that unless you're really expecting to get millions of visitors right away or hundreds of thousands of visitors right away, which most people don't. So start small and you can always upgrade later. So you're going to choose your domain or your URL. You'll enter your personal information. You'll select your package information. So if you do a 3-year hosting package, it usually brings the cost down than if you just do 1 year. So it just depends. Or if you do month to month. And then typically they'll walk you through installing WordPress, and what domain you're installing it on is the one you just got. You'll read through the policies, the licensing agreements, terms and conditions, start your blog or website, and you'll now be able to log into the back end via the administrative URL and do whatever you want with it, basically. But like I said, the WordPress platform can be a steep learning curve. So I do highly recommend iMark Interactive has a free course on understanding WordPress. It's just awesome. I'm not affiliated or anything. It's just a great course. If you're wanting to use WordPress but you're struggling, it's a great one to sort of just familiarize yourself with the platform. And then next, you'll choose to install a theme and customize it, and create pages and posts and all that. Okay, so what it's like to get started on Squarespace is a little bit simpler. So you'll go to Squarespace, you'll get started, you'll hit get started, and then you'll answer some questions. And from there, it'll craft a sort of demo version of your site, and you'll set up your free trial. So they do a 2-week free trial. You don't have to put in a credit card or anything. And I've got a video on just sort of what that looks like as well, because I couldn't remember how you started a Squarespace site because it's been so long. I set up WordPress sites all the time. But so you can check out that video as well. But then you'll have 2 weeks to sort of customize your site before needing to pay for Squarespace. But Squarespace is a paid platform. There is no free option other than your 2-week free trial. So some people, like I said, some people find it more intuitive. It's probably a little easier just to get started with, but you're going to be limited in sort of your abilities because Squarespace only works with certain tools. Like they work with MailChimp, and they also offer their own email marketing service type of thing, which is pretty reasonably priced, I think. So, sorry, I saw something. But if you want to use ConvertKit or Drip or something else, you're going to have to like do Zapier integration. And it's just, you're kind of Squarespace in that sense. While it's easier to get started and up and running, it can require a lot more workarounds if you don't want to use the tools sort of associated with Squarespace or included in Squarespace. But yeah, so cost of WordPress versus Squarespace. So WordPress hosting for 1 year on like a low plan, self-hosting plan, you can usually get it for about $50. Squarespace for 1 year is $144, but again, it's an all-in-one, so that's including your templates and stuff. So WordPress, while the hosting's $50, there's a good chance you'll probably spend some additional money potentially on a paid theme or, certain paid plugins, depending on what you want to do. Granted, you don't have to. You could do a free theme. You could do, only free plugins. You don't have to use paid plugins and themes and stuff. So you could totally really bootstrap your site on WordPress if money is a concern. But Squarespace isn't that expensive, and it does include a lot of sort of functionality all in one, if you will. So it's a minimum of $144 a year on Squarespace, but can be up to $480 a year depending on sort of what plan you choose, because they have different plans. For example, if you're like an e-commerce store, or some other things as well. So when you're looking at that, so they both have their pros and cons, but which one's going to be best for you kind of going to depend on what you're wanting to accomplish with your site. So I'm a blogger, so I look at it from a blogging standpoint, but I also run a business. And so my business site used to actually be a Squarespace site, and I moved it to WordPress because I wanted to do more blogging on it. But so there are certain ways that bloggers monetize, like affiliate marketing. And so WordPress versus Squarespace on affiliate marketing, I think WordPress wins, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, if you're doing affiliate marketing, you have to disclose your affiliate relationship. And in Squarespace or in WordPress, there's lots of easy ways to just include the disclosure at the top of every post or page if you want. And there's no easy way to do that in Squarespace. You would have to actually remember to make sure you include that little chunk of text saying, there's affiliate links here. It means I get a commission. You'd have to remember that for every post and page that you actually use affiliate links. Which is a little stressful, right? Because if you miss it, like you're in violation of FTC rules, you're putting your income at risk. It's just, there's no easy way to do that disclosure throughout your website in Squarespace, and there's lots of ways to do it in WordPress. The other thing when you're looking at affiliate links is a lot of affiliate links are super long and convoluted. And so a lot of people will use pretty links in WordPress. I actually use Lasso. It's a great plugin. I'm loving it so far. It's paid, but it's in beta, so it's not widely available. But what both of those do is it takes that kind of like ugly link that's really long and it makes it into a pretty link. Sorry, the other plugins called pretty links. A shorter link. So instead of doing like this tailwind super long affiliate link, I can just say Elizabeth Steelton /tailwind, anywhere in my site, and that is an affiliate link. So like I said. So it makes them pretty. And it's easy to do that with different plugins in WordPress. And in Squarespace, there's no plugins. So you can pretty much accomplish the same thing through URL mapping in Squarespace, but I found that to be really kind of clunky, to like go in and do that for everything. It works. You can absolutely do it, but between that and the disclosure thing, I think WordPress is way better for affiliate marketing. If you're not doing affiliate marketing though, maybe Squarespace will be better for you. Another thing both business owners and bloggers get concerned about in terms of what platform they use is SEO, right? Search engine optimization. Which one's going to be better to show up in search engines? Well, they're both really good. So in WordPress, like you can do a bunch of stuff, but a lot of people use the Yoast SEO plugin to help them make sure that they've like done a good job optimizing their posts, because it'll show them like green lights and stuff. In Squarespace, you don't have an equivalent of that, but many of its SEO features are built in, so you don't have to worry about it. But that also means if there's something you want to tweak, like the meta description or, alt text for an image, like you kind of got to dig for it a little bit to customize it, and some stuff you can't change. So it takes a little more work to do tweaks and changes in Squarespace if you're working on optimizing things. But they have a great sort of built-in SEO optimization, which search engine optimization is a little bit redundant, but you get the point. So in my opinion, if you're doing general blogging where you're looking at affiliate marketing and display ads, because just like it's difficult to display an affiliate disclosure throughout a site in Squarespace, it's going to be difficult to do that with display ads as well. I think for blogging, WordPress is definitely the way to go. But if you're just doing a simple business site, you're not monetizing that way, you're working on selling your products or services, and you just want to get up and running quickly, then I think Squarespace is a great option. And so, like I said, it's going to depend on what you want to do, which platform's better. They both have really great features. They both have some drawbacks. So it's going to be a matter of what's going to work best for you specifically and what you want to accomplish. So I hope this has helped helped you figure out which platform might be best for what you want to do, and definitely check out the full blog post if you want a little bit more detail. And if you guys have questions, just let me know in the comments.